Welcome to the Photographer Diaries podcast, where we talk about anything and everything photography. I'm your host, David Scott Bowles.
And I am your co-host, Dragon. Yeah.
And on today, we have a special guest, Miss Amber Bogard.
How you doing?
Kayleen.
Good, I'm good.
Yeah, Kayleen Imagery. She's a super talented portrait photographer and creator from our local area, and super stoked to have her on the show. Talk about her work, talk about some campaigns she's working on, and just get to know her a little better. So let's dive in.
All right. Well, can we get just like a brief introduction for the fans out there?
Okay, let's see. So I'm a portrait photographer. I got started in high school. My high school teacher actually saw that I was talented before I even realized I liked photography. I tried to go to an art school, but I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And then I got started basically in a portrait studio, like portrait picture people,
Oh, okay.
JCPenney.
Dang.
Yeah.
To JCPenney's?
I worked at JCPenney's
Out here or no?
out here.
Okay, I had a friend that worked there too.
I worked at
Cool.
Sears. I worked at the Walmart one. I literally
Yeah.
Oh,
bounced.
she bounced
I
around.
bounced around to all the portrait, like retail portrait
Yeah.
studios. But I didn't like the way that they treated the sessions. They were like, "Get them in.
Oh,
get
yeah.
'em out.
Get 'em
We
in,
don't
get
care if they're good or not, and then
no
you better sell the
creativity.
highest package."
Ah,
So I just decided to create my own business, which was Kayleen Imagery, and I fell in love with photography. I love portraits, especially of people. Well, that is portrait photography, but but I'm saying I just love taking pictures of people.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could take portraits of dogs too.
That's true too, but yeah.
So let's talk about that one real quick. So Kayleen Imagery, where did that come from? Like, is it like a middle name, just something that sounded cool, or
Yes. Okay, so Amber is very like basic, I guess you could say.
yeah,
I didn't want like Amber photography or
Yeah.
so I was in my room like doodling like, okay, let me come up with a name because eventually if I do open a portrait studio,
yeah,
and maybe say I have 2 or 3 or whatever, I want to be able to just keep my own name.
yeah?
So it's a combination of my middle name and my grandma's
Okay,
name. So my great grandma's name was Kay,
okay.
and my middle name is Kathleen.
Oh,
So I said Kayleen Imagery.
that's
That
similar to
works.
like what my partner Christina has with Mila Moments. Because like the one thing that always, I'm actually guilty of this too, but the one thing that always drives me crazy is like when people have that, and then like I always want to call you Kayleen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because like that's what I think your name is. But the one thing I would say too, I think that you can maybe keep this in mind later, and you already kind of said it, is later on when you start to build some traction, I would go back to using your name.
Yeah.
Like Amber Bogard, like that sounds like a fucking dope ass photographer. You know what I mean? Like to me, like I hate using my name because I hate my last name. But
You gotta be proud of it.
no, yeah, exactly. And that's
That's
what
you.
that's where it came from, is that like somebody once told me, like, dude, like your name is your brand and no one else can have that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And not only that, is like if you don't like your name, then you should be fighting to make your name something. You know what I mean? And
I like that.
yeah, right. And like, and it's kind of crazy because like down the road, like in my family line, like my grandfather was in the movie industry. He worked on some of like the early like Clint Eastwood films, Star Trek. Like he was a lighting technician. Like he's got like a big ass IMBD, which I never knew because I think I met him once when I was like a little kid. But we also have an actress in my family too that I just found out. She's my cousin of mine was like, yeah, we have like a really famous, like we have really famous people in our like history name. And I was like,
You're
what the
next.
fuck? I was like,
Next, bro.
I was like, yeah, I got a jump start, man.
Yeah.
So my name actually came from
We
because,
don't care. No, I was kidding.
and you see how I get treated on this podcast. It's like first season
Which
of
name is it?
hazing,
Wait,
right?
yeah, I know exactly.
So, Dragon Media was my company name, and it was because I sell bearded dragons. So
Yeah.
I just ran with it, like,
Yeah,
and I was born the year of the dragon. Like dragons have
Oh, really?
always, yeah,
I was
dragons have,
It's my year right now.
you know, dragons eat rabbits,
Well, oh, damn.
man.
If you can catch us, we're fast.
So, that's where that came from. But I like I said last time, I'm working on putting together like a beginner's photography course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was doing an introduction and like I've been scripting out my stuff and I was like, do I really want to say, hey, this is dragging on here? Or do I want to look at longevity and be like, should I go, hey, how are you doing? This is LeJean, because my name is dope as hell. Like,
It is, yeah.
but it's just Johnson. I don't know about that part. Like,
Yeah.
but like I like what you said though, because now I just have to make it good.
Yep.
You know, like I'm the representation of that name. So I'm definitely, since I heard that, like that's what
Yeah.
I need to hear. So LeJean, John, hi, how are you doing? This is LeJean.
Yeah. Because it's hard to, and like this is something when I switched over and I started shooting weddings, it was very hard for me to not want to like keep it my name and build a brand under my name because with my weddings, like I do photo and video, it just made sense to have a brand name.
Yeah.
Right.
I still attach my name to it. Like if you go to my Instagram, it says H&H by me. Um, but yeah, you have to build that brand around your name because in the long run, I mean, wherever you want to be in your career, whatever you want to do, if you want to host workshops or if you want to get to either a celebrity photography level or just,
Right.
be known, you want to be known for your name and not like some cheesy ass brand name. Not saying that
Right.
anybody's name
And
is
like
cheesy
if
ass.
you Google dragon, you're definitely not gonna find me.
Yeah.
You go through Lord of the Rings and all these other shows before you even see a
Yeah.
picture of me. So yeah, definitely
Dragon
gonna
dildos and weird shit.
so
See,
definitely have to run back to
Yeah.
my name for sure. What kind of projects have you been working on?
so I wanted to have more purpose in my photography, so that's why I created the Rediscover campaign. And it's basically where I photograph women and I highlight their journey of self love transformation, their testimonies, and where they've overcome.
Hmm,
So it's a unique portrait experience where I photograph them, and then I take um, an artistic black and white portrait of them, then I interview them, they tell me their journey of self-love, and then at the end of that, I have a gala celebration where I display their portraits and they get to see them for the first time.
Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that was like one thing that I was gonna ask is you don't really show them like do you show them some of the photos as you're shooting? Like, oh look at this is fire, or you don't show 'em?
Sometimes I do, like, if I get really excited, I'll show them, like, "Look how good you look," like,
Yeah.
and
But you don't show them like because obviously with this campaign, you're only picking like one image to show.
Mhm.
So they don't see that one,
No, they
obviously.
don't.
That's tight. I like that.
Yeah.
you know what? Like I was big on when I first started doing photography, I didn't like to show them the pictures when I took them.
You have to though,
No,
man.
I
Like,
know
yeah.
when I first, because I just was like, it was that confidence thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's you gotta
That
wait
makes
till the
sense.
end. You gotta wait till the end because they don't understand the process. But what I do now is when I get that good shot, I show them and it makes them more comfortable
Yeah.
for the rest of
Yeah.
the shot. Like, oh, that's what you're doing behind the camera. Like, so now I make it a thing that within the first 5 minutes of us shooting, I want to make sure I show you like a
Yeah.
photo that I've taken so you could be like, oh my goodness, like, oh, and then
You could
you could
see it.
see it,
Yep.
like their body language changes, like, okay, now I'm
Yeah.
comfortable because he's not just the guy with a camera. Like
Yep.
he knows what he's doing. So definitely, have you worked with Bailey?
Oh, that'd be a good one. You
Yeah.
should link her up with her.
Oh, no, I
I'm
haven't.
definitely going to link you up with her because that's how we started. I actually worked at the gym at In Shape, and she used to come and work out, and I had just got my camera and I was just like, man, I want to take pictures of her. Like it's just unique. So I asked her if she wanted to shoot and she was like, "Oh, I never really shot before." And so we worked and she was like, "Oh, you don't know how this helped me on loving myself, like I'm going through a hard time." And she just was telling me her story and everything, and now we work periodically. And man, I definitely have to connect you for because I like
Yeah.
that campaign for sure.
Yeah, so Bailey, she's like super talented model, really pretty. She's got
Vitiligo.
vitiligo. Is
Mhm.
that what it is?
Yeah.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has that, and I mean, she's gorgeous. She's an amazing person too. There's another girl I follow too. She's a big. I think she was. Oh man, I should turn that off. Um,
It's the idea.
she I think she was on America's Top Model, but she has a campaign out on in Target. I was walking in Target and I was like,
Mm,
"Oh, I've seen her before," but she was on America's Top Model.
okay.
Man, these walls, bro, paper thin walls over here.
Your walls are talking.
I know. All right, I can fix it. I'll fix it in post. Oh, I need to stop that real quick.
So how long have you been running your campaign?
So I started last year. Well, wait, it's 2023? So 2021
Mm-hmm.
is when I came up with the idea and I just ran with it.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I love this because I wanted more purpose in my photography. That's
Right.
what I was lacking for myself because I love photography. But at the end of the day, like say a portrait session, a regular portrait session, I would go home and feel almost empty and depleted.
Yeah.
With this campaign, it's like it's feels fulfilling, and I feel like it will inspire other women because I actually went through a period in my life where I got really depressed, um, and I isolated myself. I put the camera down. So this is my way of rediscovering who I am as well in my photography career
Yeah.
and highlighting other women and showing their beauty.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Nice.
mhm.
You do video?
Yes, I do, like, a little bit, like, beginner stage.
Yeah.
Everything is all self-taught for me, by the
Right.
way.
Oh
I
yeah.
like that. But you know what?
So
That's like the important thing. I tell every photographer learn video and vice versa because there's a lot of videographers out there that don't know how to
Don't
take a
take
photo.
a photo. Like,
And it's like you should learn.
yeah.
When I bought my first camera, that was the first thing I did was like learn video and learn photo at the same time. Because I mean, a video is just moving pictures. That's
Right.
all it is. So that's cool. I like that you're learning both.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought it up because it would be great for your campaign. Like you said, you do the black and white photos,
Mhm.
and if you just do 5 to 10 seconds of like a slow mo black and white video of your client and
Mhm.
just show their personality, like that would be dope as well to add to it. Like,
That'd be sick too. Like at the gala when you have like portraits, then you can hang up like TVs vertical and like playing a loop of like the thing.
that
Like
is
that'd be really cool.
wow.
I'm copywriting that.
Because last
Under your
year
TVs, you gotta put by David Rose.
Idea by
Idea
idea.
by David.
Every time this loops, I get 1 penny.
No, because last year when I was doing the campaign, how I started the gala was I showed the women talking about their journey.
Mhm.
So people were, like, watching the screen on the big screen, just
Yeah.
listening to them
Oh, that's dope.
before we got started
Oh,
in the
nice.
actual, festivities. So that's a good idea because my goal is to create a whole experience,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So we're doing the portrait session,
Mhm.
we're doing, the videos. I wanna put them out on YouTube like a series.
Yeah.
I wanna double back and do a podcast with the women and connect with them further about their journey. Um, so all of it interactive.
Okay.
That's my goal for
That-
this campaign.
Okay.
I think like so just to add a little bit of context, we own a studio here in Palmdale and Miss Kayleen Imagery is one of our renters, and she's been using our studio for these campaigns. So I have actually personally been able to watch her a few times, bringing these models in, working with them, and it's really, honestly, to me, it's been inspiring. It really has been. I know I haven't mentioned that to you, but because one thing that I've really wanted to do for a while is do an art gallery, and part of my trip, like, so I'm going to Japan next.
You going where?
We said this already. 'Cause you know where I'm going. But I've been working on a book for a long time. This would be my third trip there, and this is part of a gallery that I want to do later on. But just the portraits that you've been doing too, I'm like, fuck, like, man, I need to do that. Like, I need to get back to my roots because I started originally as a portrait photographer, and I really love like up close, tight portraits,
for
like
sure.
shot, like just like
Details.
quarter
sharp.
body. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
I want to do something like that.
Like you did on the Boulevard.
Yeah, that was cool.
Dope.
So I
Those came
did.
out really
We need
good.
to do that again. My wife's been
Let's do it, bro.
like telling me to do that again, but a digital version.
Hmm.
And now that I have everything shot, like everything set up to shoot tethered into Capture One,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Let's
so I
fit
want to
it,
do
man.
a one shot portrait, like you don't get a retake.
Mm.
We set you up,
Your personality
do one
right
shot.
there. Boom.
And that's a good idea, LeJean. You can copyright that one too.
Yeah.
That's funny that you say that too about a book, is because I'm putting the portraits and their stories in a book too. So
Okay.
every year it's going to be the annual Rediscover book
Damn,
that the women can purchase too.
that's
So
really
wow.
cool.
Wow.
yeah.
I guess I'm going to start a book.
About
I don't
dragons.
pretty much know what it's going to be yet, but I promise you I'm going to have a book.
Yeah, it's
You know?
important as photographers
Yeah.
just to put something in a spot where people can purchase. It's art, we're creating art.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the one thing too, though, with you. I know that you do a lot of BTS videos, but you're around history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the artists that you work with, it's history. So what you need to kind of remember to do when you have the
You got some
time
tissue?
is snap a few photos
Oh,
and
yeah.
just start creating like an archive, right?
Mhm.
Date them and say like this was this shoot, this was that shoot. Then create a book on that, because that would be fucking super sick to
I
see.
have some dope pictures already.
There you go. See,
yeah.
So I'm
How
going to
about
create 2 books because I don't want to just do that. But like I thought, I don't know. I felt like I wanted to do. I used to think about doing a book, but I wanted to do something a little bit more personal.
Okay.
You know, like you see these people all day, every day
Yeah.
on your TV and stuff like that. And my stuff, it could be great, but it will get lost in there
yeah.
in everything that they have going on. So I have been thinking about something that I just wanted to be a little bit more personal, but definitely you could come up with more than one book, right?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
There's no limit.
I don't know.
So Amber, how long have you been photographing for?
Okay, so like on and off, like 15 years.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I got serious or started building my portfolio about 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
And then my business really started taking off about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And um
I just started shooting when the pandemic happened.
Really?
Yeah. Like legitimately. Because I used to do music.
Yeah.
Like, so I was a rapper, writer. I did audio engineering. And when the pandemic happened and I wasn't working or doing, I didn't have, I was like,
yeah.
what can I do? Like, and I was like, you know what? And then my mom, she takes a camera to everything, every
Damn.
family
Mm.
event, but she doesn't like, she just
Mother
takes them
dragon.
for personal, and I was like, you know what? Let me just create. And I love it.
So actually you just gave me an idea for something. When this is I guess a question for everybody, but when was the first time you were introduced to a camera, or like what's your earliest moments with a camera?
I would say my mom, because she wanted to be a director.
Okay.
She wanted to go to school for that. So I have pictures of myself when she would like take them at the park, like black and white photos
damn.
of me. And then also she put me in background work. So as a child,
Yeah.
so I was on set and I loved being on set. I remember that. So when I started like booking my own studio sessions and directing and doing all that, I got that same feeling and I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. So I think it was like from when I was little.
That's cool. When I was young, I always wanted to be in like movies and shit. And I auditioned for fuck, I'm forgetting the name now. Oh, Dennis the Menace. Yeah. I was too old. They're like, nope, you're too old, kid. I was like, fuck.
Well, you tried it yesterday, so
Yeah.
of course
I should remake Dennis the Menace.
do it, man.
What about you, LeJean? When was your first experience? with a
Honestly,
camera?
funny story. I told you about my mom just
Yeah.
always having her camera. So she would give me a camera in elementary school for every field trip, like a disposable.
Dang, okay.
So like, here, take this camera, take pictures. Take this camera, take pictures. So I guess I can't say that my photography started when
That's
the
cool.
pandemic happened, but the real
Yeah.
photography started. It wasn't just like random pictures because my mom wanted me to fill up the film on the disposable so she can have memories,
Damn.
But yeah, my mom always, I just went to her house, a few months ago and grabbed some old disposable cameras I need to figure out how to get developed, like
Yeah.
from elementary school
Mhm.
like that I've
Oh,
had, and it's like she has so much film and so many disposable cameras. Like, why you never did anything with this, man?
that's crazy.
And it was crazy because I developed one, and I got to see one of my friends that I took pictures of that passed away. So that
Yeah,
was like pretty dope.
that's
Like I
crazy.
was like, this is
And that's
great.
that's the power of a photograph, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
Yep.
Didn't have no other way of seeing him. I couldn't remember like his last name to look him up or like
wow,
nothing like that. But I found like when I developed it, I'd seen his picture.
that's crazy.
So that's why I love photography. It's just
Yeah.
timeless, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like a time machine. You always can go back to those moments because when have you not picked up a picture and been like, oh, I remember, and you could just remember the
Yeah.
whole time from that picture. You remember like a span of what was going on at
Mhm.
at that point. So man, I just love it.
That's dope. Yeah, I think mine was so when I was younger, I lived in the valley and I had a friend and his name was Duck and his family owned a Kodak store
Oh
like
wow,
in the valley. And it was like, they did film processing, they sold disposable cameras and stuff. So I remember always going like walking home with him and Um, like sometimes we'd have to pop into the store and like, just like walk around real quick. So I think that was the first time I was really exposed to it. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then I remember being at like a family function one time and my mom's best friend at the time had I think it was a Canon, like a EOS one, because it was a film camera, but it was like a DSLR. So I think it was an EOS one. I'm not sure, but I remember like just like playing with it, like, damn, this thing is cool. And like hearing the sound of like the shutter click and like all that really got me inspired. But obviously I grew up super poor, so I never could like buy a camera. But
welcome to the club.
yeah, I was always interested in that kind of stuff. So but those are probably my first like early years of cameras.
Right.
Mhm.
I love it, man. Um, so anything other than your campaign that you have going on?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've been working with a lot of different like nonprofits and businesses and stuff like that, just like for paid work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But the Rediscover campaign is like my baby, like my passion
Yeah.
Yeah.
project. I do see like a really big future for it because I also plan on doing self-love workshops eventually as well
Okay.
to incorporate that. So yeah, that's my baby. I have a few other ideas as far as like campaign, like photo campaigns, video campaigns, and stuff like that. But that's kind of still in the works of my mind.
Right. Do you
Okay.
still work do you work a lot out of the Antelope Valley?
Yes, that's my goal is because I live out here, so my goal is to primarily work out here, but I don't mind traveling to like LA. But
Right.
LA is mainly I guess for if I want to do more content creation because there's a lot more models out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Sweet.
right. That's not anybody you want to work with. Like, is there someone on your list that you want to work with this year?
Oh my gosh. Like locally?
No,
No,
if you could shoot
Or just
anybody, if you could shoot anybody in the world, who would it be?
oh my gosh. Let's see.
don't worry, we go cue some like thinking music.
Doo-doo. 5 hours later.
Well, okay, so I would say you guys,
Okay.
honestly, because I want to be in like I guess more creative space with people who do what I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't found local people who do what I do. So it's good to just connect with you guys, but I guess a famous person that I really really want to shoot probably Kevin Hart because I feel like he would just make me laugh on set.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did
Kevin Hart, where you at?
I should be close. I feel like I'm close to working with him. I did some video
Really?
work for the Heart Foundation for the vegan restaurant that they
Mhm.
opened
Oh,
up.
okay.
So if you go to their page, you see my video on there. So dope.
Dang.
So
Well, I'm your assistant, okay?
all right. um let's see. Who do I want to work with this year? Honestly, I've hit my list
Yeah.
except for J. Cole.
Yeah,
Mm.
Jake.
I've hit my list except for J. Cole. But I mean, now if I wanted to branch out more, I want to do more like just something that's gonna be on like HBO or Netflix or something. Like I
Yeah.
just want to do something bigger. It's not
Yeah.
more of a person,
Mhm.
just where my work is being seen, you know? So that's what I'm working on this year.
That's dope.
How about you, David? Who you want to work with this year?
So I want to do a series called Yes Chef. I used to be a chef, so I want to do a series called
And
Yes
he's
Chef,
never cooked for me.
and I want to do portraits of like big top celebrity chefs.
Okay.
And some of them I know and I worked for, and I can easily do it. But I want to like basically do ones that are like maybe celebrity in a sense of like local celebrity, or like, you know, have a good following down here. One of my old mentors and chefs, his name's Jason Foley Love. He's gonna probably be the first person. We've talked about this, and but if there was anybody out of that realm of chefs, I would probably do. Man, it's hard. Like Thomas Keller or something like that. Like, I don't know if he's alive anymore though. That'd be kinda hard. I think he is. I don't know. Sorry if he's not. I mean, but out of that scope, celebrity wise, my celebrity that I would love to photograph would be Keanu Reeves. I think that would be
Why?
dope because he's just cool. He's Bill and Ted,
He's,
bro.
yeah, he is. But you want to know something? You want to know something I realized as an adult?
Huh?
I like his movies, but he's not a good talking actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I
When
agree.
he talks, I just be like, what's going on here? Like,
Oh, you
it's
know what?
seriously, like, his acting is good. Like, I like the movies. It's
Yeah.
weird. But when he talks, I'm just like, why is he talking right now?
Yeah. Another person actually that I've like, I've never been a big fan of his until recently, but Jason Momoa. Like, I want to work with him so bad. He's a rock climber, and I really love that stuff. I've been watching his show, The Climb, on HBO, and like it would just be so cool to do like an environmental portrait of him. Like, I know he rides motorcycles and he
Bear
has-
Grylls.
yeah, like dude,
That'd be
like
fire.
I mean, I don't know if I can climb any mountains or anything, but I can shoot from below.
He get a telephoto lens, you know?
I'll do it with the drone.
There it is.
I got you, Jason.
So I
Don't
have
fall.
a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Okay, because I've been doing photography for a long time,
Yeah.
and I know part of me is like I've held myself back,
Okay.
Mhm.
right? But I want to know how you've like broken into or got the work that you're searching for. Like, what were those steps?
It starts honestly with believing that you're going to get that work.
Yeah.
No
it does.
joke.
I mean,
Like,
it's a little bit of that. And like any industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the
I
thing
was
is,
getting into that, man.
and I know you were, so I just want to get there. But what he said, it starts with believing in yourself. Because I do the same thing. Like, I think we all do as creators. We're doubtful on our work, on our abilities. We do the compare game where we compare people, we compare people's other successes.
Mhm.
And like, I mean, if we want to be truthful, if we look at other people's who are successful and at a place where they are where we want to be, the reason that they're there is not because they're more talented than us. It's because they know more people than us.
Mhm.
And they put themselves in the places
Right.
at the right time. I want to thank Amber for being on the podcast today. Thank you so much. Where can we find you on any of your social medias, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever? Give a shout out. And again, thank you for being on the podcast.
Okay, so you can find my photography page, everything photography, on Kayleen_imagery. On Facebook, it's just Amber Bogard,
Okay.
Beaugard. And then on TikTok, it's Rediscovering You.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. I'm going to check that out.
Yes.
Cool. Again, thank you so much. Dragon, thank you for being here every day, all day,
Thank
on
you.
time.
And thank you guys for having me.
No problem. Until next time, guys. See you. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.